Guys, it's Sarah, and today I'm going to be working on Layla's school album today. I'm going to be working on her third grade year. Now, her elementary school album is going to be a Project Life style album. So I have the Project Life page protectors. I have done videos on this entire album so far. So if you want to see kind of like the beginnings and how I set it up and all that good stuff, I'll leave the playlist link down below so you guys can see this whole thing. But I do start with kindergarten and go all the way through 5th grade for this album for her, and each school year includes, pictures and schoolwork and stickers and things that she did at school and things that she brought home from each class, and artwork, things like that. So that is what I include. And then I also have some 12 by 12 layouts intermixed in here as well, just some bigger things we wanted to remember from the school year, things like that. So this is what her school album is going to end up, looking like throughout the years. So really enjoying making these albums for both my girls for their schools. So Layla is now in 4th grade and I need to do her 3rd grade year. I haven't done it yet. I do have everything collected. I have had questions about how I collect the things and all that. So every school year I have an iris container, which is just one of these, scrapbooking containers. So I have one of these for both my girls. They each have their own, and I collect their schoolwork as they bring it home throughout the year. And then at the end of the school year, I will go through those containers and pick out any type of work that I want to save, any certificates, anything important. I even save like their backpack tags. I basically just save everything for their school years. And then at the end of the year, I will go through and I will sift out the things that I definitely want to keep, things I can easily cut up. So for example, something like this is part of her actual school work that I cut down to a 4x6. So it just has an example of some of the things that she was doing. Actually, a whole bunch of these, all these right here are all schoolwork too. So just little samples. I don't need the entire sheet. And I don't keep everything, definitely. There's no way I could do that. But the important things and things I really want to make sure I keep in here. And then if I do want to keep an entire sheet, so this is like first day jitters on the first day of school. So this is really cute for 2nd grade. And she drew a picture and talked about, how she felt on the first day of school. And I wanted to keep this whole thing. So I put it in 8.5 by 11 and stuck it right in here. This was another thing that was really cool, nice and colorful. They did some work about Florida, so like I wanted to keep that because that's unique. This is a couple of layouts here. She got a running award, which was really cool, so obviously I'm going to keep that. So things like that. Any cards that we get from her teachers, I keep in here as well. So at the end of the year, like I said, I go through and I will hang on to them, and I'll go through and I'll cut things down, decide what I want to keep. Anything else that I want to keep, like big artwork that I can't keep in here, I keep in a separate art box that I have for them that's divided up by their grade year. And then anything else I toss. I have no problem tossing schoolwork that I don't think is really important that I want to hang on to for memories. That's not a problem for me. So yeah, that is how I set it up. And now I'm ready to work on 3rd grade. So I have it all ready to go. So I have my page protectors in here. I have Post-its for what I want to put in each little slot here. I have my pictures printed. I have work saved. These are some things that are probably going to be whole, that I keep whole. And then I have some things that I'm easily going to be able to cut up, no problem. And then I will use a Project Life kit as well for the cards that I just want to write on or stick things on. And I am using the blush kit from Project Life. This is something I got on QVC, I think a very long time ago. I don't even think you can actually get these anymore, but I'm going to use that for this here. So it's a little bit cohesive. And yeah, I already have a couple of 12 by 12 layouts in here as well that I've already done. So as soon as I get these slotted pages done, then I'm completely done with her third grade year. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward and create these layouts, and then I will do a final flip through for you of her entire third grade year when I'm done. Okay, so we are going to go ahead, and I usually try to start by adding my photos in where I want them to go on the square. So on this one, I have 3 photos going on. So I just kind of lay those on top, and then I go through the schoolwork as well and see what it is I am planning to include in here. So I kind of just, it gives me a little bit of an overview of, number one, what kind of colors are going on, and how many cards I'm going to need. So for example, I'm definitely going to need at least 4x6 cards, because 2 of the cards that I have over there, the 2 on the right hand side, the top and the bottom, those are 3x4 pictures, so they're not going to take up the entire thing. So I'm going to need a 4x6 card to put those on top of, and then I'll obviously need one for the title and one down on the bottom as well. So it just kind of gives me a good overview of exactly what I need to look for. So since I'm only using one Project Life kit, it's very easy for me to just grab a stack, and I just kind of try to pick the cards from there, basically. And I try to make them coordinate a little bit. I try to use some of the same colors that I'm going for, maybe some colors that are represented here. So in here, there's a good amount of blues and some pinks. So I'm going with those, and then a little bit of yellow as well. So once I have my cards picked out, I go ahead and just usually start from the top and just work my way down, and I start going. So this is going to be for my title card for third grade. So I have these printables here that I got on Pinterest a very long time ago. I can't even find the pin anymore, so I don't know if these are even anything that's available anymore, but they are circle punchables, basically. Just something I was able to print onto cardstock, and I can use one of my circle punches to punch out very easily the number, and it just says third grade around it. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And then I try to put a little something extra on the title cards as well. So I'm just going to go through some of these stickers that I have set aside for this school album specifically. So I'm just going to use a star and a little circle. And then on each of the years, or each of her grades, I write down the school that they go to, the mascot of the school, and then the city and state that we lived in at the time. And since we're military, these are going to change consistently. So I write all that down so that they can remember those. So this is the first day of school, and this is usually what I have, right off the bat, the first day of school. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp the date that the first day of school was. I did have to go look it up on my phone because I did not remember. So I stamped that, and then I just do a little bit of journaling about usually how excited, especially Layla, is to start school. She absolutely loves school. She thrives in school. She loves being with her friends and making friends and all that. So she's my little social butterfly. Definitely. Okay, and this one is just going to be very simple. It's just a photo, and I'm going to put a little label on it. I think I'm going to grab my little box of labels that I have, very possibly. I have like a box of die cuts that are just labels, so I'm going to pull that out, and I think I'm just going to pull from that consistently throughout this project here. I'm trying to work my way through some of these things. So I find one right off the bat. It's perfect. It's got a little banner on it. And I'm just going to write down Crazy Hat Day on this one, because that was a day that they were able to wear crazy hats. And she chose to wear a sorting hat that we have. Now here, I'm going to stamp out the word signature. And this is something I'm doing every school year for them, that I want them to sign their name on here. On a card, and I'm going to call her and have her do it. She's going to do it here right now for me. And I have them sign their names so I can see how their handwriting changes and grows throughout the years. So that's been something that's been fun to kind of see And so she's signing it for me right there, as you can see. And then for this one here, I had a brochure that was sent home, and it had the logo of the school on here, and it's a pretty decent size. So I'm just cutting around the edges of that, and I'm going to put it on a card and have it there. And that's just the logo for her school. And I know that, you know, Layla's halfway through her 4th grade year now, and I'm having her sign on her 3rd grade year now, but, you know, it doesn't really matter that much to me that it's, you know, exactly within the school year. So I'll have her sign her 4th grade one, you know, when I do that one, and that's fine. This is her Valentine that she chose. I always have the Valentines, especially in elementary school. Middle school, they get away from that. So like Kaylin doesn't have Valentines anymore, but Layla still does. So she chose Frozen 2. And then for this one, I'm cutting out this word welcome from a packet that we got when she did the Meet the Teacher night. And I'm going to go ahead and make this a little banner. And I'm going to have to actually move the picture over because it doesn't fit. And I was like, oh no. So I just moved the picture over. And let me tell you guys, like, look how much came off that card. And yeah, I'm going to say it, like, these cards are cheap. So this is one that I got off of QVC. I think they did some sort of like, they had a scrapbooking day or something. I mean, I got this years and years and years ago. I'm talking like probably 5-6 years ago. So I've had it for a very long time. But they had a couple of exclusive editions, Project Life editions, that were only going to be sold on QVC that night. And I went ahead and bought one, and the quality is not very good, you guys. And it's Project Life, so it's not like any different. It's not from a different company or anything. So I'm really surprised that the quality of this one was so bad. And then on some of the cards, there's still some of the perforated edges where it looks like they were either cut or torn, you know, during manufacturing. And it's just, I have to clean up the edges sometimes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm not super impressed with the quality of these cards, but I'm using them because, you know, I want to use them. They're still usable, obviously, but man, if I ever have to change anything, it completely tears them up. So, not the best quality in my opinion, at least for the blush edition here. So I'm curious to know if you guys, if anyone has this edition, or there was a second edition that was sold on the same night. I only got one, but if you guys have any experience with Project Life kits that were purchased through QVC, let me know if you guys have any feedback on that, or if you have this edition and notice the same thing. I just think the quality is different than other kits that I have from Project Life. Like, they're the same kits, same type of thing. I just wonder if they manufacture the QVC ones differently. So, okay, all of that to say, I cut down Layla's picture a little bit to make everything fit, and I put a Meet the Teacher sticker on there. And then the other one was a holiday breakfast that I went and had with her in her classroom. So that was just a fun time. Okay, so this one is going to be a little more work heavy. I'm going to have a little bit more of her schoolwork. So I'm going to cut some things down, and I'm just putting things where I want them to go. And I have a couple of pictures as well there. And then I have some stuff that I'll be doing some journaling on. And then I think I have one more picture to add in there. I just, I didn't grab it when I was grabbing my pictures. So I'm doing a spelling test here. And so I'm cutting down just a 4x6 piece. So I wanted to have, like, the grade wasn't super important to me. I wanted to make sure I had like her handwriting and the words that she was putting down. So I just cut that down to a 4x6. And then this is where I realize I need a picture still. So this right here is her school supplies. And I think it's fun to include school supply lists in here just to see how they change over time, and, 20 years in the future, what are school supplies going to look like, things like that. So that's something I always tend to keep. And I went ahead and grabbed a couple of 4x6 cards, and I'm grabbing some 3x4s as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right here. So for this one, she came home with a bunch of Post-it notes. And I was like, what are these? She said, these are, we had to write something nice about everybody and put it on their desk. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So she, had them and brought them home and everything. So I'm going to include these, obviously. I'm going to cut them down a little bit to make sure that they all fit, but I'm doing it kind of like a waterfall type where they're going to overlap each other. And then if I want to, we can pull out the card and you can flip through and see what all they say. But a lot of them were really super sweet, talking about her being pretty and sweet and nice and kind and all that. And it was super cute. So I wanted to make sure I kept these. And the first one on top there says Layla is the best. So I love that. Okay, so school supplies, very easy. I'm just cutting it down and it's actually going to fit perfectly on this card here with a green border, which is really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and just have those. And I don't need any journaling or anything. It's a school supply list. It says it on there. So that's good to go. This one is a music program that they did. They did quite a few music programs throughout her year at the school. So I'm just cutting this down to fit on this card. And then I'm going to use a little tab here and write down, I think I'm going to write down music program on here. I don't really need to say a whole lot about it. She just had multiple, and that was the one that had like the best picture and view of her that I had. So this one here is really funny. That those were rules that were posted in her classroom by her teacher, and it was the only reasons you can interrupt group time. And one of like, oh, look at that card. See, like I pulled it off and it completely ripped the card up. Oh my goodness. Some of them were, you can interrupt me if you bring me a cup of coffee, if something is on fire, if someone's bleeding. And then there was one that said, if Zac Efron enters the room, you may interrupt me. So that was kind of funny. That one made me laugh. So, and then I have a picture of Layla there with one of her friends as well that was taken at school. And so here, her teacher had a lot of fun little stamps that she would put on their schoolwork. And so I just kept a sample of each one, and I am going to just cut those out and put them on a card. I just thought they were really cute and something fun for Layla to remember. And I'm going to use my Simple Stories letter stickers. I'm going to use pink, and I'm going to spell out the word fun stamps. And then I will cut them all down and like fussy cut around them basically, and have them all on this one card kind of in a row. And I'm going to grab a little very, very thin washi tape that I have here. It's a purple, so I'm going to go ahead and just put that underneath it just for a little bit of a separation there. And I've been working my way through some of these letter stickers, as you can see. So every time I pull these out, I need to pull all three out and find the color that I'm working with. And usually between all three packages, I can get what I need. Some of them are running a little bit low though, so that's kind of nice. Getting through some of my stuff. So that one, there says Mrs. Coleman likes this, which was her teacher. This was a cute little Halloween one that says Booyah, and it has a ghost. This one was my favorite. It says talk about some great work, and it's got a taco on it. Love anyone who's going to reference a taco. And then this one says, I think it says gobbling good, and it has a turkey on it, and she used that during the holidays. So it was just cute. Fun little stamps for the kids, and the kids enjoyed them and everything. So I have those on the card there. This one is going to be her fall picture, so her yearbook picture. And I'm going to go ahead and use a larger one and have it on this card. I'm not going to do a ton to this because this is obviously a very large picture and it takes up most of the space there. But I'll add a couple things on here. I put that little today tab, and then I'm going to put the number 3 for 3rd grade. And along the bottom, I am going to add some alphabet stickers, and I think I'm going to add one of these little arrows right here. And I don't remember what it said. I want to say it says nice or something. Like, yeah, it says nice and it's yellow, so that's cute. And then I am going to grab some tiny alphabet stickers. These are black with gold letters on them, and I'm going to spell out yearbook. And, just to show that this is her yearbook picture. So that goes in there, and then this side is done. So now we're working on the back side of that one. I have this little drawing that one of her friends gave her, and it has BFFs forever and all their names and everything. So like a little friend group. It was just so cute. So I'm just going to stick that straight to the back of the card here, and just trim it out. I don't need to like add, anything else. I just wanted to be able to stay still. So adding it to the back of the card there was perfect. I'm going to go ahead and put that back in. I do have to turn it over and do it because it's not going in very nicely for me. There we go. And then I'm going to grab my pictures and some more schoolwork here. That's going to be something that I end up using. This one right here. I'm just going to cut out that image. Then I have some of her schoolwork, and let's see, what else do I end up doing? I know I need a journaling card for sure, or 2 journaling cards at least. And then I do have one 4x6 there. Okay, so for the schoolwork here, again, I'm just cutting down to 4x6. That's just what I have to do to put it in. And I'm just getting enough of her schoolwork just to show what she was doing. I think that was like a verb tense thing. So for this one, it's a piece of artwork that she did that has the skull, and it was really cute. So I'm just going to center it as best I can. I do cut off a lot of it, but when it's done, you can tell that it's a skull, and you can tell, that it was just a piece of art that she did one day in school. So it works. It's not something I needed to keep whole, but I really do like the way that it looks. This right here was teacher parade. The teachers did a teacher parade. And then for the post-it here, now this was funny. At the end of the year, since school was completely online, they had to do scheduled pickups for parents to pick up the school supplies that their kids still had at school because they never went back to school after spring break. It was all virtual after that. So, and the schools were closed for a while. Like even the teachers weren't at the school. So, we had to do a, scheduled pickup of all their stuff. So the teachers had to walk around their classrooms, gather everything for all the kids, put them in separate bags and label them and all that. So I have her name label that was on her bag, and I'm going to journal about that on this label right here. And I added some sort of word strip. I don't know exactly what that says anymore, but I'm just talking about how, it was kind of surreal to go and pick up her stuff without being in the classroom. We couldn't even get out of our cars and all that. So it was a little crazy. So I'm journaling about that. And then the teacher parade here. So during the school year, or after everything went virtual, the teachers did one of those car parades where they all lined up and they drove around and honked and drove around the neighborhoods and all that stuff. And so Layla was able to see her teacher, which was really cool. And they were all screaming like, "We miss you," and everything. It was really, really sweet. So I have these puffy letter stickers from Freckled Fawn, and I was shocked that I could even spell the entire word parade. I had every single letter for that. So I'm going to take advantage of that and spelled that out, and just talking about, that experience, and love that the teachers made the time to do that. You know what I mean? So it was really cool. And then I'm going to add a star there.
And so for this last one, she got on the AB honor roll, which was fantastic for her because Layla is one that has struggled. She definitely struggled in second grade. The move from New Mexico to Florida was a big adjustment for her as far as curriculum goes and all that stuff. So, oh, and I'm changing scissors. I got new scissors because my other ones that I was using just now, they have gotten out of, oh, what's the word? They're not even anymore. Like they got, I don't even know the word, but they're not cutting right anymore. I can do very fine with a very fine tip. I can do that, but anything else like is just not working. So I just went ahead and grabbed a new pair of scissors. I've been thinking about getting some for a little bit anyway. So, got me a new pair of Fiskars. And then, so for the AB honor roll, like I was saying, really proud of her for that. So we kept the ribbon, and I'm talking about that. And then we kept a little certificate that she got in the mail as well. And it was like a gift card to a restaurant and stuff, which we never ended up using because COVID, it actually shut down. So I just kept that little piece there. Okay, and so we're on to the last page now, and this is going to be very picture heavy, as you can see. A lot of pictures. This is her teacher. And this was taken actually the first day of school, so that was nice. I'm really happy I got that because we couldn't have done it at the end of school. So, or they would have had masks on or something. So it's kind of crazy. And so I wrote down her name, and then so for this one, it's a little award that she got, which was really cute. It was like a superhero themed type thing, and a training academy type thing. It was just fun. It was cute. So I went ahead and put this in, and it says like, Batman is on there, like his signature, and Superman and Spider-Man and stuff. It was kind of cute. But, okay, so going through my labels again, this picture here was Layla on her last day of school. She is at home in her pajamas. That's what the last day of school looked like for her. And I'm going to write on here, last day of school in her pajamas. But that was like the moment she got, like she turned in her last assignment and she was completely done. So she was very excited. And then down here on the bottom, a couple things. This one right here was field day. They had a field day, luckily, very early in either January or February. So before, COVID was even like a thing. We had a field day and I was able to go, which was great. And I took some pictures and stuff. So that is Layla and her teacher right there on the end. And her teacher is pouring water into a cup on her head, and she had to like balance it and take it back and pour it into a bucket. And her whole class had to do that. So it was funny. So I am using my Simple Stories letters again and spelling out the words field day. And then I use the other half of that label there. And I'm going to journal about it on here, but Layla had a great time at field day. And I feel like I need more on here though. I feel like I need to fill up a little bit more of that space underneath the F, and I don't know why, but I really it's bothering me. So I'm going to go through a couple of die cuts here. I do find this one here that I'm going to use on that picture right there, but I go through my pink here and I find something that's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. I'm going to cut it down a little bit so that it fits, and I'm going to cut around one of those arrows here. And that just helps fill up the space a little bit more. It feels empty to me for some reason. And then I'm going to also add a gold geotag on here, right next to the F. And then for this one here, this is a screenshot of one of her Zooms that they did, obviously, after they were all virtual. So Layla is up in the upper left-hand corner there, and then her two teachers are on there as well. She had two teachers, actually. They switched teachers halfway through the day, every day. And so both her teachers are in that picture and some of her classmates. Now where I put the zoom right there was nobody in that photo. Like, it's just a picture of a chair. So whoever was in that square was not sitting there at the time. So I didn't cover up anybody. So I just used half of that banner, and then I used some gold letter stickers to spell out the word Zoom. And I will do some journaling about that as well. This is where I'm going to journal about the changes and COVID, and how halfway, a little more than halfway through the year, they had to go all virtual, and Layla adapted really well. We were actually surprised. At first, it was a little painful. She doesn't like sitting at the computer for that long. But overall, she ended up doing a great job, and we were really proud of her. And, those are big changes. They were hard. So, talking about that. And then right here is going to be my letter to her, which I write a little note to my girls after every school year, and just, how the school year went, and always how proud I am of them, because they always do really well, and all that stuff. So I'm going to have that right there. And now I'm going to start putting in some of the larger items that I want to keep whole, and I'm going to put them in 8.5 by 11 page protectors. So there's a few things here. That's like a welcome letter from her teachers that we got in the mail. This is something that was the front part of her homework folder that she was able to color. First day of school that they did. This one right here, I'm going to cut down to 8.5 by 11. I'm able to cut it down enough without sacrificing any of the writing or drawing or anything. So I cut that down a little. Just some fun things that I wanted to make sure that I kept whole. And in the album, I didn't want to cut it up or anything. And then I do have some larger pieces also that are artwork that I will put in an art storage bin that I have them. Okay, I'm going to do a flip through for you right now.
Okay guys, so I am done with Layla's album here. So opening part, kind of the first part of the year, if you will. I try to do it so like the first two spreads are the first part, and then the other two spreads are the second part. Sometimes it gets a little mixed up, but that's okay. I just put things where they will fit. And then 8.5 by 11 stuff in here. So this is her teacher's welcome letter that we got in the mail before school, which is really cute. A letter from the school resource teacher that worked with Layla a little bit during the school year. This was the insert into her homework folder, or the communication folder, if you will. So they all got these sheets and they could color them in and stuff, and then this was inserted into her homework folders that we used every day. This was first day of school drawing that she did, and then some more into schoolwork and all that stuff. And then this one here. This one is her goals for the year. They were setting goals for the school year, what they wanted to do, and then they laminated and hung them up for a while. So this is that. This one I cut down to fit into the 8.5 by 11 because I had room to cut it down. And then this one, it's a piece of art that they did. They started with one dot and then drew a picture around it. So that was kind of cute. And then this is a 12 by 12 of learning from a distance, which is when they went to distance learning after spring break. So I did a whole layout about that. And then this one was a field trip that we went on to see Dogman. I do have process videos for both of these on my channel as well. They will actually be in the playlist for her school album if you want to see those. This is an at-home bingo that her teacher sent for reading, which was fun, and Layla checked them all off actually, so that was kind of cute. And this was when COVID hit as well, so it was just something fun for her to do at home. And then this was an example of a schedule that we had to print out every week to make sure all the stuff is done. So I have, there's quite a few pages here printed together. So like all of her schoolwork for the week to do online. So I just wanted to have that as like a reminder, of what we had to do every week. And then the end here. So this was the final page, and, got some Zooms calls going on here. This was her last day of school. She's at home in her PJs. So yeah, and then little note, and then I'm talking about the changes here that COVID brought to her in this school year. So that is going to be it for third grade. So it's all done. Very happy to have it all done. And again, if you want to see the other spreads in this album, I will have the playlist linked down below so you guys can go and check that out. But I do have process videos for this entire album so far. So if you want to see any other years and all that stuff, you guys are more than welcome to go check that out. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you guys have any questions at all, and I will see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.